Welcome back to Better Than a Pill. Today, I'm so excited to have Lynne Bowman with us as a guest. And Lynne is the author of the Amazon bestseller, Brownies for Breakfast. And Lynne has been featured in women's expos throughout the country. She's teamed with actress Deidre Hall. She's done quite a bit. And so I'm honored to have her here as a guest on our show. And we are going to be talking about brownies for breakfast. So, welcome, Lynne.
I'm so happy to be with you, Carrie. And I have some news for everybody. The book is now available in Audible, so you can listen while you're working out. What could be better than that, right?
Oh, that is great. That is really awesome. And yeah, I'm so excited to. Tell us a little bit about, just to start off, your story and what, kind of drove you to write this book.
My story is long. I mean, let me start at the end. I'm old. I'm 77. And that's the big story. I want that for everybody. I want all of us to be old and be having fun and feel good. And for you ladies, especially you pals who are in your 30s and 40s and thinking, oh my God, I had no idea it was going to be this hard. The kids, the relationship, the job, all that stuff. It's so hard. Yes, it is, but it gets better. Your 60s and 70s. Oh yeah, big fun. But the secret is you have to be healthy. So that's why we're all out here talking about it. And hopefully, if you're not already seriously started, maybe today will be the day you'll hear this and you will get on it, because it makes literally all the difference in the world. I was just listening. I'm sure you know Peter Attia and his work, and his new book, Outlive, is full of just super nerdy, crammed with facts and figures. But let me save you several hundred pages and tell you that the science is so there. If you move every day, if you have some kind of aerobic and strength training and you stay with it, your chances of being healthy into very old age increase hugely. It makes all the difference. It really does. According to the science and according to grandma here, it's what you need to do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And yes, I've heard that, it's amazing to me that that is the key, one of the top things we need for longevity.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I do it for a living, but I can't believe it is the number one thing we need. That's awesome.
It is the thing. And it's so interesting, Carrie, to hear. And I know I'm supposed to be telling my story, but I get bored with my story. And I'm so interested in other people's stories. And what I'm finding fascinating right now is that MDs are starting to be the ones out there going, medicine isn't what we thought. Right?
Yeah.
Medicine is not necessarily helping us to be what we want to be and to cure people and to make people feel better. What is doing it is food. Yes, that's my corner, sort of, and movement. And another super important one, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about that if you want to today. Happy to. I'm a recreational sleeper, by the way. And I encourage other people to really get into sleep and enjoy their sleep. So there's that. And then the fourth is emotional health, which I think just comes from doing the first three to a great extent. And I'm sure you will agree with me that part of the joy and the benefit of working out is doing it with some people that you like, making it a social thing. And here I live in a little bitty town, 600 people on the coast of California. And so we know each other. We see each other on the street and so on. And there's a wonderful group of women who are pretty well connected to each other. And several of us, of course, work out together in our little neighborhood gym right downtown. And of course, that's where all the news gets put back and forth and so on. But that just little bit of contact with my friends working out, it gives me so much joy and connection and makes me want to go back. It's not torture to go and get pumped up in a nice room with nice people that you like and a good trainer. It's fun. It should be
Hmm.
fun. And and Americans are so all about work all the time. And I'm guilty. Yeah, I've been there and I've done that. I still do it. And I don't have an excuse anymore, but I do it. Um, but having fun is maybe the healthiest thing we can all do. And if that
Hmm.
having fun involves moving your buns, dancing, playing a game, pickleball, golf, whatever, so much the better. But I think we can't underestimate the social aspect of moving.
Hmm.
If you're sitting at your desk or sitting in your car, you're not doing your social life any good either, or
Hmm.
your spirit or your emotional health. So all those additional reasons for getting up and moving, and getting on your treadmill and listening to my book on Audible. It's a great thing. Great workout.
So yes, back to your book. Talk a little bit about that. Like what Brownies for Breakfast, by the way, I love that name. And I want to tell you that I did get a copy of your book. And
Yay.
also want to share with you that me and my kids made the brownies last weekend.
Okay, great. How'd it go?
I was super excited, Lynn. They turned out really tasty.
You
And
doubted me. You doubted me.
no, I'm really excited. In fact, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna add in the chocolate chips. Yeah. So a healthy brownie that I could eat, and gluten free. That's good and they liked it. Oh my gosh! Thank you. So that was a win right there. I
You
just wanted to,
Great. And did you have them make them? I mean,
yeah,
that's part of the deal too. Yes.
yeah.
Because to me, getting your kids to cook and cook with you, is huge. It goes such a long way to having a healthier home and family and having your kids learn what they need to know about food. Uh, yeah. And I hope you'll try some of my other recipes. And I hope all of y'all at home will sign up for my little email thing. Just go on my lynnebowman.com, sign up on the front page, and not often, once a month, maybe twice a month in a good month, I'll send out one of my new recipes because I'm always experimenting and finding new things. And I love getting feedback and pictures from folks. So, Carrie, I'm looking forward to pictures next time you make your brownies of how beautiful they are, how good they turn out.
Okay, I will do that. Absolutely. Yeah. No. And yeah. So for those of you that don't know, well, tell us a little bit about what this brownies for breakfast is, Lynn. So because I know people are like, what
I
the heck are
will.
they talking
And
about?
the whole idea of the book is, and the full title is Brownies for Breakfast, a cookbook for diabetics and the people who love them. Which, if you think about it, that's kind of like the whole world because half of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic now, and the other half have some sort of heart situation or fatty liver or something. And the prescription is the same for all of us. As far as food is concerned, it's really very simple. It's whole food, real food, mostly plants, which is not entirely plants, but it's please more plants, everybody. And that's it. So the cookbook is a really simple book done by an impatient, messy cook, myself. And I took the photographs specifically so that I could say to you, they're all just taken with my iPhone. This is what it will look like when you make it. No stylists were harmed in the making of this book. It's the way we cook. It's real moms, real grandmas, real dads cooking real food. And it's fast because that's the way we live, right? Easy. It's as cheap as you can possibly manage to do. People are always saying to me, isn't it more expensive to eat healthy? How do you? No, it's not. If you stop throwing away food, if you use up what you have, if you learn how to use carrot tops to make your pesto instead of throwing them away, that's huge, right? That's
Mm.
some of the best food you'll eat. And I want to encourage everyone to grow a little bit of food. It buckets, little pots on the sink or in your backyard or whatever you have. grow some food. Your kids will love doing that. And kids will eat what kids grow and what kids cook. So
Mm,
problem solved, problem solved, problem solved. So this cookbook is just very basic, very simple. It's American sort of fusion, Californian. It's got some little Mexican stuff in it, but it's just easy stuff that you can do in 15 minutes, and you can do ahead if you want to, and you can do for a potluck if you want to. And it's familiar recipes that you'll look at them, you'll go, oh wait, yeah, she just didn't put in the sugar, and she just did it. That's right. You don't have to change the way you eat. You just have to tweak some stuff so you're not eating hidden ingredients, stuff, chemicals that you don't need, sugar that's added to stuff extra. If you're making your own real food, whole food, it's fabulous. It's more beautiful. It has better texture. It tastes better. All good. You're not creating trash, you know.
mhm,
When you think about it, there's just so many benefits. The downside, okay, here's the downside. You ready? You have to go in the kitchen and you have to cut something up and you have to actually put it in a pot. But 15 minutes, 20 minutes, there you go. You cannot do it driving through. No, not going to happen.
yeah.
So, although I do have a recipe in there for a driving through hack. Here it is. In my little town, we have a fabulous, it looks like a gas station, but it's a fabulous taqueria. And I get one, and they know us, it's like, hi, and they know what we're going to order. So I don't even have to say anything. I just walk in and the order is placed. It's a, it's a burrito, hold the rice, shrimp burrito, no rice, all veggies, beans, good stuff. I take it home. I cut it in half. I put half away for the next day. Half is going to be plenty. And I put it on a bed of quickly chopped cabbage. Two colors is good. Purple and green is good. If I have arugula, I chop some of that. I put it on there, and I sprinkle a little bit of, usually what I have is a plant-based mozzarella or some other cheese that I think is good. Sprinkle it on top. Put a little more green salsa from Trader Joe, in my case, on top. It's gorgeous now. It's this beautiful plate. You'll see it in the book of these green and purple leaves, and it looks so nice with green sauce and the sprinkle on top. Nuke it for a minute, and now you really have a meal. You have lots of good green vegetables and color, and you have the shrimp, because the shrimp is not fried. It's just shrimp right out of the
Mm,
ocean on a grill. Wonderful. So you have to figure out what's available in your town where you are, but then turn it into good food. You can do that if you're just conscious of going, okay, how can I get green stuff in my plate 3 times, 2 times a day? Now, a lot of us are not even eating 3 times a day anymore, twice a day, probably. But every time I sit down to eat, my question is, okay, have I got greens here? How many colors do I have here? Am I eating the vegetables that I need? It's not a question of deprivation. It's a question of adding into your diet the nutrition that you need and
mm,
want. So when it comes, because people automatically think, oh yeah, diabetic, I'm pre-diabetic, I need to stop, I need to eliminate it. No, 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 no. You need to start adding really good food. Think of it that way. Frame it that way.
yeah.
It'll work.
That's awesome. And yeah, so I love that you have this cookbook, and I'm going to obviously have to look more into it. We did one so far, but you have simple and things that are under 15 minutes, and
Yeah.
you can use the microwave if you need to. And, it's simple shopping too, right? The ingredients and yeah.
And I give you all of that. I tell you what to take out of your pantry. Yes, that's me, grandma, standing behind you going, get rid of that. It's crap. Because you do. There are things in your pantry, I know, that just need to go. Just stop. But I'll tell you what needs to go into your pantry, and you'll go, oh, really? Really? No, you'll like it. It'll be good. And I talk about reading labels and what the labels really mean and how to read the label. Because when you read a label, it always says so much protein and so much carbohydrate. Ignore that. Doesn't matter. And it's BS. It's not the truth anyway. Because you cannot measure those things in food precisely the way that you would think. Looking at that label, they could. What you want to read is ingredients. What's in it? And you've heard this from other people besides me. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. If it's more than 3 or 4 things, what is it? So I talk about all that stuff, I hope with some humor and some joy, so that it's not an icky read. What a lot of us have been out there reading all of these texts on nutrition and exercise, so you don't have to, because they're not fun to read, most of them. But I tried to make this cookbook something that you would enjoy and go back to and keep out in your kitchen, open to the picture to inspire you to go make something else. So it's full of savory things too. And just ordinary things. It's deviled eggs, because, excuse me, but my deviled egg recipe is the best in the universe, just so you know that. And eggs are great food if you have chickens that are real chickens, happy chickens, college educated chickens, laying beautiful eggs, healthy eggs. That's great food. So try my deviled egg recipe. And I won't give you the secret of that, but a lot of the pastries, the difference is that instead of using flour and sugar and oil, we use nut butter and pumpkin.
Hmm.
Pumpkin.
Yeah.
And pumpkin, of course, is great when it's pumpkin season. And I love pumpkin flavor and pumpkin spice and all that. But pumpkin also turns out to be this magic ingredient that becomes the best chocolate you've ever had. And these brownies, the brownies are made from the pumpkin, the nut butter, cocoa, all good food.
Mm.
And I'm sweetening now with allulose, which I encourage everybody to try. Allulose is what's called a rare sugar. It's a natural thing. It's not a chemically created thing that the guys in the buildings in New Jersey make to addict you to. No, no, no. It's good food, has a bad name, but allulose is very good food. And it doesn't give you a blood sugar spike, and you won't react. Your chemistry will not be disturbed. It's a great sugar substitute. And a lot of people kind of turn their roots up at sugar substitutes. But if, like me, you've been diabetic your whole adult life, pretty much since had my kids in my early 40s, I knew that sugar was the enemy even back then. So I know that, but I crave sweets. I want something sweet, and I don't want to never eat a brownie or a cookie or a cake again. So just make them the healthy way, and they're delicious, and you're not deprived of anything. There are certain things I haven't been able to recreate yet, just because I haven't had time. I need more time. Um, I need to learn how to make a great buttermilk lemon pie with no sugar, and I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it, girls. Um,
Nice.
we all have those things, that go back to childhood or whatever, that are our definition of fabulous, delicious, the most thing that you wake up in the middle of the night and going, oh my gosh, I really just want strawberry shortcake or whatever it is. But almost all of it you can make my way, just substituting things. And what you find is that the healthy way to make it is very often better than the way your mom might have made it.
Hmm.
We can make beautiful, my orange snack cake, which is not in the book, but you'll get the recipe if you sign up on my list. It's made with a whole orange, peel and all. It's fabulous. And it's made with pumpkin and spices, and it's fragrant. I mean, orange cake, right? Moist, wonderful, super healthy. and a little creamy frosting on it, nothing better. So you will not be deprived of anything if you make a decision to stop eating crap.
Yeah. No, and it sounds like so even though the book is, let's just say, good for diabetics, it's good for other people too. It's good for people that have an autoimmune disorder or gluten free. I'm just talking low carb, keto, paleo. Kind of speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, because it's kind of all the same. If there's certain things, if you just take commercially baked bread out of your diet, if you just start there, just say to yourself, okay, no more white bread from fast food or from the market. Just know that right there is going to improve your health dramatically. And those of you who have issues with gluten, whatever, now there's a lot of gluten-free labeling on stuff, but you have to be very careful about that because so often the gluten's gone, but the sugar is still there. So it's a thing that we need to kind of be cautious about. But yeah, huge. Just take, and in fact, take the wheat out of your diet. If you can just take the wheat, there are people who want you to take all the grain. I won't go that far, but if you can take the wheat out of your diet, because the wheat that's grown and processed today in most of the foods that are available for you to buy is not worth eating. It just has no nutritional value that you need or want. So it's a game that you can play with yourself is okay, I'm just going to stop eating wheat and then you're going to read all the labels and you're going to go, oh yeah, that had wheat in it too. Yeah, and that had sugar in it too. So becoming aware is a huge first step, Carrie, don't you think? Just really
Yeah,
thinking about it and focusing on it. But I want everybody to know that it doesn't mean you're going to not eat good stuff and you're going to deprive. It means you're going to eat better. You'll eat a wider variety of food once you get off your old path of driving through and whatever you were doing that was naughty, or the grab and go idea now in the front of all the supermarkets. I will stay out of a supermarket if I possibly can. I have PTSD from being a single mother of 3 kids, right? And the 10 o'clock at night forays and you're exhausted in the grocery store. Um, but now when you go into the grocery store, the whole front is grab and go, plastic and prepared food, because y'all don't have time, right? And you want to just grab that thing and take it home and put it on the table for anybody that will sit at the table. That's the thing we should talk about too. I was hoping that this book would help people think about how food is not just food, it's connection, it's community, it's family, it's friends. And I want you to sit down with your family and your friends and eat. We are eating in the back of a car, the kids are. You're eating at the steering wheel. I see you out there. Stoplights. I know you're doing. Um, and that is doing nothing for your emotional health or your physical health or your strength or anything. It is not nourishing you. So I hope that these recipes make it possible for everybody to eat the same food at the same time. No more of this. Well, Mary Ellen just won't touch anything, but and Grandpa, he wants to have his, and my husband doesn't want anything but no, no, no. Everybody at the table with a meal, and
yeah,
if Grandpa wants to put more salt on his, fine. But it's crazy to think that each person at the table is going to have a different menu. No, come on. We don't have enough to do. That's not.
exactly. Yeah, no, that's a great goal. I love that you have incorporate that into your message today. Yeah, 100%.
Well, it's practical, but it's also, if we are going to improve our health, all of us, and we are talking, I think, primarily to women today, not entirely, but largely to women. and it ends up in our laps. We're the ones who end up enforcing it and making it and wrapping it up and making sure that everybody has theirs when they go out the door, all that sort of thing. It does wind up being up to us to a great degree. So make it simple for yourself if you can. Make genius soup, recipe in the book, once a week, and you have meals for 3 or 4 or 5 days. Because what you have is a great big pot full of delicious broth and vegetable soup. And then Tuesday night, you put some tortilla chips and something in it and you make it taco soup. And Wednesday night, you can turn it into Greek soup. And Thursday night, you can have some pasta in there and and each night, you've got this beautiful, healthy vegetable base that you can just add a few things to and have a warm, wonderful meal in front of everybody in a few minutes. And yeah, you cooked, but come on,
Right.
throwing a couple of things in that pot, the cooking, you had to chop the vegetable, you had to make the genius soup, which is easy, but it does take a few minutes, and you're using up all the vegetables out of your crisper. And I've seen what's in the back of your crisper. I know what's there. That cabbage that's kind of like, and the arugula that you bought well intentioned, it's kind of not looking great. Well, you take all that and you make soup. And then you've got meals, whole meals ready, warm
Hmm.
and fabulous.
Excellent. Yeah. No. And, 100% I agree with you. And eating this way and eating even the things from your book can help reverse chronic disease. And that's been your experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the combination of eating this way, moving your buns. Okay, 1 and 2. And then 3, sleeping, which again, especially if you're a parent, it's hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the only time you have to yourself is after everybody else is asleep and fed and everything. But I don't know anybody who doesn't wish they could just lie down at 8 or 9 o'clock at night and be quiet. And then what you do is you watch stupid stuff on TV, right? And which does not rest you at all. It takes our mind off of things, but I would caution you that it's not rest. And a thing that I want everyone to know, if you don't know this, know it now. The only time your body heals, and that's either little boo-boos on your arm, that you've gotten, or a chronic illness that you're trying to improve, any healing that goes on in your body only goes on in your deepest sleep, in REM sleep. And that's when your cells get busy and do all the little housekeeping stuff, and throw out the bad ones and recycle the good ones. Autophagy is one of my favorite words. I love that word. So sleep is not just absence of activity, right? Sleep is this magical ability that we have to renew ourselves. And if you are not now getting at least 7 or 8 hours of good sleep, darkened room, quiet, no electronics of any kind, then I want you to do whatever you need to do so that you can. And if that is enlisting a spouse to do a little more, on one or something, and I know that's hard, but that sleep is not just a, well, if I can kind of thing. That sleep is a, you must. So you must get better nutrition. You must move every day, at least a little bit. And you must sleep. And then you must have fun. You must have a social life, an emotional life that's good. Those are the
Yeah.
4 things.
Yeah. So it's all encompassing. And obviously the nutrition does play a big part in it. And,
Yes.
and so with just to kind of wrap it up, I just would love for you to share, like, is there like a couple recipes that resonate as your favorites that you would say to a good starting point for people in the cookbook? Like where, just what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we've already hit a couple of them because
Right.
these are the things that I've been doing for years, and I do them over and over. And I think that's how we cook, really, realistically. You do the things that you have memorized and that you don't have to think about. You just do them. And Genius Soup is huge. I mean, I highly recommend that you give that a try. And then the brownies, you know,
Yeah.
um, who doesn't love a great brownie? I mean, that's just so good. I make the deviled eggs a lot. I'm going to make them this weekend. We've got people coming over. And then I have one called potluck slaw, which is called that because you can leave it out. It doesn't have mayonnaise in it. It's simple. Actually, I think, did I call it? No, it's potluck slaw. I have two slaws in the book. One that has vegenaise, which is, that more creamy kind of coleslaw. But the one that I'll be doing this weekend for our outside picnic event is very simple, and it's sliced up cabbage. And here's the trick: a really, really good balsamic vinegar that has some sweetness to it. And I get mine at a local market called Sagona's, and they have a Gravenstein apple flavor and they have a Blenheim apricot flavor. So just a bit of that great balsamic vinegar is all you, and salt and pepper, and then some sliced up carrots. Uh, and I always put some. I have nasturtiums growing all the time in the yard, so I decorate it with some nasturtiums, and people go, "Oh, that's all it takes." But our food needs to be beautiful, and we enjoy our food with our eyes to a great extent, and that actually helps digest the food. If your body goes, "Oh, I'm going to get good food," things chemically start to happen in your body so that the food goes down better and gets processed better. It's a thing. So making your food pretty, I think is a good habit to get into too, and it's not hard. It's easy, just a few extra seconds, and then having a little pot on the sink with Italian parsley, for example. You buy it at the grocery store if you're not growing it. Snip off the bottom, put it in a little vase that's pretty on your sink, and your scissors are handy too, right? You always have scissors in the kitchen, and just snip off that beautiful Italian parsley on top of anything you're eating. That is so nutritious and tasty and pretty. Seconds, right? But so much more nutrition, and it looks more appetizing. It smells great on top of soup, on top of a sandwich, on top of eggs, anything that you're doing. So I could go on and on with my tips, but there's a couple.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, so for you guys that are listening today, I'm going to be including the link here in this episode to Lynne's website so you can find her book. And also, the Audible version is on Amazon, as she mentioned. And thank you so much for coming on, Lynne. This has been great, really, and sharing all this information with us.
I love being with you, Carrie. So, and I hope you'll holler when you want to talk again, because there's always so much more. And you and I both are finding out new stuff all the time that we like to share.
100%. And remember, everyone, we do new episodes every week on Wednesday, and I look forward to having you join me then.